Dr. Urban here, talking again about one of my favorite subjects, and that is vitamin C. Because vitamin C, due to the work of courageous people over the last 70 years, has a place in the treatment of chronic conditions, which leads me to my first point. It may be beneficial to you to think of diseases, chronic diseases, in another way, that they are caused by chronic inflammation. If you go to a doctor's office and you ask people what's wrong with them in the waiting room, they might say, well, I have high blood pressure, I have obesity, I have elevated cholesterol, I have elevated triglycerides. They're all related, in my opinion. They're due to chronic inflammation. So if you can change your mindset, you will start to be able to take in some of the information about chronic inflammation. Now, why is this important? Because you see, if I say that I have an elevated cholesterol and that's my problem, let's say I do have elevated cholesterol and call it my problem, then I treat the cholesterol, let's say with a statin drug. Well, what's the cause? What did I just say the cause? It's chronic inflammation. It's been going on for some time. It's still going on. It has other manifestations. Perhaps they'll show up soon or not. And so if you go back up the stream of disease, you may find that chronic inflammation is worth dealing with. The second point is that when it comes to vitamin C, now we're talking about vitamin C. We know that there are things you can do to make your health worse, and I suggest to you that if you have a problem or eat a lot of saturated fats, mostly coming from animal fat, there are some healthy saturated fats. I'll just mention two. You got makes glutarate. Avocados are thought to be healthy, but there aren't many. And if you get a lot of saturated fat from animal products, to include milk and dairy, even fish and meat, so you may want to start cutting back on your animal protein to get rid of not the protein, which is a problem in and of itself, but to get rid of the fat. I know this is complicated, but part of the problem of not being able to sit in the doctor's office and say my problem is one two-word sentence or one word, you have complexity, and that complexity is due to the inflammation. That's my first point already stated. Second point is that fatty food, saturated fat, particularly from animal products, cause leaky gut, and that leaky gut causes your vitamin C to be used up because neutrophils come to deal with the leaky gut byproducts, and they excrete, believe it or not, bleach, hypochloric acid, and it's bleach. But what happens, the bleach uses up the vitamin C. So you've got a bad diet, you're low or using up your vitamin C. The vitamin C is protective of E. Vitamin E is particularly protective of cell membranes, which are fat. And if you have low C or using up C and you have low E, you have cell damage, ergo disease in the future. Okay, let me check my list here. So if you have the metabolic syndrome, now the metabolic syndrome is a constellation of several diseases. You know they're common: diabetes, abdominal fat, high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, and so forth. I don't know that I've named them all. There are 5 or 6. But anyway, if you have the metabolic syndrome or chronic disease, you need more vitamin C. I believe, without making a dictum, this pretty much is the magnet. I don't want to call it a rule because I may get into trouble making disease treating rules, but let's just say it's a strong magnet if you have any of these manifestations of metabolic syndrome. So I believe you are behind in vitamin C if you have the metabolic syndrome. Let's put it that way. Let's leave it at that and consider supplementing with vitamin C, but never make any changes to your medical regimen without first consulting your doctor. This stuff I'm telling you is for information purposes only, to get you started, keep you going, that sort of thing, and maybe some helpful hints. So consider taking vitamin C. Subscribe to my channel. In the description, always read the description. There are a couple of links. One to the article I talked about with vitamin E and C. And then the other one is how to use vitamin C, particularly the stool effect, the bladder tolerance. It's called bowel tolerance, searching for the word. And there's a video, a very important video, to help you monitor your vitamin C and keep up the optimum levels. So there you go, the case for vitamin C. Be well. Check it out.